Good afternoon. I send you my greetings from London, from the neighborhood where I grew up. Today I would like to show you the sites of a few episodes in the surprisingly rich musical life of this area. Just right there were the pleasure gardens, which in the times of Handel were where he took walks, often with many illustrious colleagues like J.C. Bach. Once he was in there with a friend, I think Dr. Fountain was his name, and they were listening to a piece of music which just happened to be playing there. And Handel asked his friend his opinion about that piece of music. After listening for a while, he told him quite honestly, well, it is not worth listening to. Handel said, yes, I thought so when I wrote it. This here is Hanover Square. It would be quite difficult to overestimate the importance of this place to music history. I'm going to just mention two things for which I'm particularly thankful. The first of them is relating to Joseph Haydn's 2 trips to London that he made near the end of his life. And it is here in London that he wrote many of his most wonderful symphonies. And here in the Hanover Square rooms, which unfortunately are not preserved, but stood on that spot, that many of them were performed for the first time. The second of these things, which has a direct connection to what I do, is the invention of the recital. It was also in the Hanover Square rooms that Franz Liszt, in the 1840s, played for the first time a concert that was called a recital, or more precisely, recitals, for he was reciting pieces of music all by himself at the piano. He wrote in a letter, "Le concert, c'est moi." Now here are some lodgings that Jane Stirling had organized for Chopin. We know the name of Jane Stirling, of course, because when we play Chopin and have some curiosity about how Chopin played and how he had his pieces be played, it is through Jane Stirling that we have much of this information. Unfortunately, he found these lodgings rather too expensive and moved out after a short while. And he moved to another place in Mayfair in that direction. Legend has it that during his stay in London, someone organized a concert where he was announced as Monsieur Fritz of Paris. Of course, as soon as he started to play, everyone recognized that it was Chopin. We've just come across another very interesting place where Berlioz stayed, and it was not only a residence, it was a concert hall. And there was, during the time that Berlioz stayed here, a series of events where Beethoven was played, especially chamber music. And he writes in his memoir about how he would just have to open his door for him to hear the sublime works of Beethoven. Sometimes the concerts were not quite so pleasurable, and he would have to shut his door very quickly. In this house, Berlioz dined with Wagner. That was the consummation of an artistic friendship which had given us pieces like the symphonic Romeo and Juliet of Berlioz as an homage to Wagner's Tristan. Such a tour as this has no end, and I can only say that it is to be continued, and that I look forward every time to coming back to this place to visit.